All right, we're joining this game in progress. I'm gonna try and jump back to the beginning and see what's been happening here. Um, we've got Queen's Pawn. Looks like we got Kevin versus Jessica here. Jessica playing with the black pieces, and I don't know this opening. That looks like it's a blunder. So the pawn is defended, and the exchange of the pawn for the knight isn't ideal. So already Kevin's playing a piece down here, but Jessica and Kevin are both new to the game, so the game is going to be decided by blunders and by things like this. This is a mistake just because the queen's left undefended here, and so you know is Kevin going to see it? He does see it, um, and this is very common. Is once you drop one piece, it's hard not to drop another piece. So we see that happening. And now you kind of have to like regroup, figure out what was going on. Oh, but now the game's changed, right? It's turned around again. So Kevin hangs the queen, and then a bishop, and now it's Jess who's winning. So Jess is up a pawn now. The game's back in her favor. So anything can happen at this level, and does. Um, this here is not defended. So the right move here is just to take it. Oh, sorry, it is defended. What am I saying? It's defended by the bishop. Now I'm the one making the blunders. It's all good. You go here, and you can still defend the bishop. You're doing all right. Yeah, at this point, Jess is up 2 pawns. Okay, so this is okay because it's still defended by the knight, not the bishop. So we're still okay here. Interesting. Very spicy. Lots going on. So who's got the better position right now? Well, I really like the activation of this rook, getting it on the semi-open file, and Kevin misses defending the knight. So that's going to be a free piece, and these bishops are really well placed to harass the king along with this rook. You can't quite take this pawn yet because it's defended by the bishop. But lots going on, and now I kind of like just moving these bishops onto squares where you can kind of annoy black. You can't quite play this because it's guarded, but maybe even rook here, guarding the bishop to guard the rook. The action's happening so fast here, it's hard to keep up with it. This attacks the bishop, so it's defended, but the other bishop wasn't, so you could just take it. Yeah, this pawn is hanging, lots of hanging pieces. So if you're just starting out, you're in this level. The name of the game is defending the pieces. The more pieces you can keep defended, the less chance that you're going to drop them, and you're doing all right. I think maybe getting this knight into the game. If the pawn comes down, the knight hops over on a good position. But I think Jess is doing a good job of converting this here. Just trying to stay solid and picking up the pieces. This is a great square for the knight. He can come here. This is very good, and that will help with just putting pressure on the king. There's also like this move here, and this isn't quite checkmate, but it's very, very close. Maybe it is. After this, what does the king have? Maybe it's not quite checkmate, but it's very, very close. So okay, and this is not a defended square, so So Kevin loses the rook here. That's probably going to be the game. Yeah, resigns. So we're looking for a rematch here. Tough game. Yeah. So lots of swings, lots of ups and downs. I would say, if you're playing at this level, don't resign. The the game swings so much that you don't necessarily need to resign. Your opponent could later blunder a major piece. Your even if you lose all your pieces, there's a chance that you could get into a stalemate. So there's it's never over till it's over. Okay, let's readjust my board here. All right. Okay, game 2. So Jess has the first win. Can Kevin come back and get a win to take this into the showdown? Okay. I don't know this opening. It's kind of like a reverse London, I guess. If you put your knight here, play this. So this is kind of different. This is I don't know what this is. I don't play e4 openings, so I don't know the names of all of them. Yeah, I don't know this line, but at this level it doesn't matter. You just really need to get your pieces to good squares, get them activated, and that's what Jess is doing. So this is good. Kevin here has moved the same bishop twice, whereas Jessica has moved each piece once. Okay, now the knight twice, just to kind of get it out of the way. Maybe didn't want it to be captured, but also this capture is not bad for white. This move, this is a tactic here, and you can move to c7 here, threatening to take the rook and put the king in check at the same time, and the king's going to have to move, and then you win the rook. So definitely some strong stuff there. Now the best thing to do is just get that king out of danger. But this sort of walks into the tactic, and now if Jess finds it, the knight c7, Kevin's going to be in a lot of trouble here. It's hard to respond to that because you have to get your king out of the way and find a way to save the rook. You really can't do both. Even things like trying to block it with the bishop and buy yourself time maybe doesn't work. This is an interesting idea, the check, but now the king can take the piece, and but there's a devastating idea here. Bishop g5 skewers the king. The king has to move out of the way and wins the queen. There's no defense to it. But she misses the tactic, and so will Kevin see it and save it, or will that tactic be on the board for another turn? And if you're playing this and you see the tactic, you definitely want to save yourself, because you're giving your opponent multiple chances to find it, and just finds it on the second try. And now it's I think it's really tough to come back from this. So now we drop the queen, and so if you're white, the way to convert this position is just start taking all the pieces. Just trade everything off, equal trades, take the bishop, and black's going to find himself down on material, not enough material to continue the fight, and it's going to be really hard to come back. Okay, so just be patient, move your rook, attack the bishop again. The bishop will have to move. Yep, that's a great move. And yeah, it's if you're black here, it's hard to find a winning idea. Part of the problem is you've got a lot of pieces still on the starting rank. Your bishop's the only piece that's active, whereas white has got a bunch of active pieces. Even the rook is active because it's on a better open file. I like this check, and I think probably just queen here to here is, oh no, sorry, you can't go here because of the bishop. You got to check your moves, make sure it's okay. I like this. Okay, now you can do this because we've cut off the diagonal of the bishop, and this is going to be really strong here. Okay, that's it's a piece. Yeah, you can continue to take pieces. That's okay too. But I think your stronger move was just to go for checkmate. You've got a really large material advantage, and you just want to try and seal the deal. Here you could take it. Your bishop's hanging now, so notice that last move changed the position where the rook now sees the bishop. You don't want to give your opponent the chance to fight back and get back into the position, because it's possible. Yeah, okay, so Jess doesn't see it and takes another pawn, but that pawn's defended, and now it's gonna be challenging here. Maybe taking the rook first. Maybe this was actually better. So, okay, this is probably getting a little fancy. I'm not sure what the best move is here. Maybe, just the bishop taking the rook was the right idea, I think. Okay. Yeah, some trades of pieces. Jess has lost a little bit, but still has a large advantage. And okay, so now we're gonna have to play something like f3 to kind of close off this attack, and it's a little bit too bad because the queen loses this nice diagonal, but this knight is doing a good job of preventing any piece activity here, preventing the queen from getting in and threatening a checkmate. So Jess really has to fight to win this position now. Still way up in material, but you gotta get your pieces active. Got to get into the position. Maybe get that other rook over, or maybe get the queen onto a better square, where you can get into the game and get an attack going. Hit the king, hit a few other pieces. Try and take some squares away from the king. The king's kind of exposed right now, so the black king. So trying to get to the attack going is probably the right idea. Okay. Yeah, it's probably a little bit slow. I think Jess is probably struggling to find the killing blow. Although now you've got some new ideas like queen d2, and this is actually checkmate now because this back square is covered by the king. He'll have to play something like this, and okay, this is a problem because it changes the position. It opens up the bishop to the queen now, and now if Kevin sees it, Jess could lose the queen and the game could turn around. But he didn't see it, so Jess has a chance here to save the queen. Don't get distracted by the pawn, which looks like it's free because the queen is hanging. Yep, that's what happens. And now this game is Kevin's to win. Just quite the turnaround. Okay, so what can you do here? I kind of like this move, but maybe the problem is that the knight defends it. So you could maybe even do something like this. Well, it doesn't quite work, because I was thinking like this, and then the rook would have to take it. But at the end of this combo, you've only traded pieces, and if you're down in material, um, you don't want to trade off pieces. Be careful not to like go here with the check, because the bishop still guards that diagonal. You're gonna have to find a different square for it. I like this, dropping back and putting pressure on the bishop, trying to push it out of the position. I don't think you can trap the bishop, but okay. And Kevin doesn't see that the bishop's being attacked, so this is not a bad move. You could have taken the piece, but attacking a second piece is not necessarily a bad idea. And now, wait a sec. Oh, that rook was hanging. Oh no. Okay, so now this is Jess's game again. And now just drop the bishop back and pin the knight to the last rook, and you've got threats all over the place. And okay, throws in a check. That's not bad. I think you still want to capture this bishop and collect that material. The material definitely makes a big difference in converting the game. So we took the pawn instead, and then Kevin gives up. The knight can just hop back and take it. So that's not going to work. But he doesn't see it. So, but Jess is still in trouble here, trying to figure out how to save all the pieces. Okay, now come back and attack the knight, and you've still got a lot of pieces. You've still got a lot of pieces attacked. So, rook e6 still saves the game, and this just hangs both your rooks here. So this is back to Kevin winning again. It doesn't get any more exciting than this. The game's it's anybody's game. That's what's going on. Still anybody's game. Although Kevin now has collected quite the advance in material. So I think the correct strategy for Jess is going to be maybe pushing this pawn. Keep your knight, your rook defended. Maybe bring it back and try and get this pawn queened. That's probably your best asset right now. There's also another idea of like blocking off this back rank and then sneaking in a quick 2 pawn pushes, which would actually checkmate the king because he'd have no squares to go to. So it's it's a combination of thinking about material opportunities and checkmating opportunities. So even down in material like this. Okay, so Jess sees some of the idea here. You can win the piece, but the checkmate would have been stronger, of course. This check doesn't really do anything, but it doesn't hurt anything. Okay, but now rook takes the bishop, and this could be a draw. Okay, rook defends the pawn, but it's rooks like to be behind their pawns. The rook wanted to be here to help push the pawn to be a queen, but a rook from the side makes it difficult to defend that pawn. Okay, and Jess needs to drop back. This isn't a horrible idea, trying to get behind the pawn. If you can get behind the pawn, you can stop it. Throwing in a check's okay as long as you go back to a8 and prevent that pawn. If you go to a8 right now, you're still doing okay. This is good too. You can win the pawn. Okay, black doesn't know to get behind the pawn, so now white has the opportunity to get behind the pawn, and now black can't save it. Right? There's no side rank to go to protect this pawn. The best opportunity now is to try and attack the other pawn and get some counterplay. If you can get all the pawns off the board, it's probably a draw. If you give white the chance to now get behind their pawn and push it, it could be white who's winning the game. This could be a blunder right here. So this check, if the king needs to go back to either of those two spaces to guard the rook. If they miss it, okay. Now, how does white protect this pawn? I don't know that they can. Okay, throwing a check. King could take the pawn. Yeah, and now I don't know what you do. It looks like with all the pawns off the board, this is probably going to be a draw, unless somebody blunders a piece, and it's entirely possible. All right, so Kevin offers a draw, and it's accepted. All right, the second game's a draw, which means Jess wins one game and draws one game, giving her enough points to move forward in the round. Exciting match. And it looks like they're going to play another one, but it's not necessary for the win. We've already got the winner, so we'll cut it off there. But tough opponents, chances for both sides to win, and went back and forth. But that's exactly how the games at these levels go. Not unusual at all. So lots of excitement, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of it. See you at the next one.